Hello everyone and welcome to this new video from Free Dreams 106 channel. Today folks, we're back to talk about HueForge with a super update that was just released this month. I'm talking about the FlatForge plugin. So in this video we'll see what FlatForge is, how to install it and above all how to use it to create new masterpieces with HueForge. So let's cut the chase and get into it. But what is FlatForge? FlatForge, as I mentioned, is a plugin for HueForge that adds a new era and really interesting feature to this software. When we print a HueForge, each layer has a color and the project is the sum of several layers that cover different areas of the print, leaving us with a 3D image that can be described as stepped. With FlatForge, however, the image we are going to print will no longer be stepped, but each layer will be filled with color, a bit like a thicker 3D image. Of course, we can also use HueForge intelligence to create shades with few filaments. The difference will be in the final format of the print. A small clarification before we begin. Unlike normal HueForge prints, where color changes occur between layers and not within the same layer, FlatForge requires a multicolor printer because each layer will have different colors within it. For example, I use my new FlatForge AD5X with the EFS for this video, but you could use a Bambulab with an AMS, a Prusa XL, and any Cubic with the Ace Pro. In short, the important thing is that you have multicolor printer. Okay, now let's move on to the computer and get down to business. So here we are at the computer to see how to use it, FlatForge. First of all, we need to install the new version of HueForge, which is the 092, because it is compatible with the plugins. Then we need to install the plugin FlatForge after we have purchased it, in this page similar to the one that you have seen before. Once you click on this icon, it will download a zip file. Then, to install FlatForge on HueForge, we need to go to Plugins and Install Plugin, then select the zip file we have just downloaded, so FlatForge will appear into this Plugins menu. Using it, it's really simple because all we have to do is creating our HueForge as we would normally do. For example, I've just imported this image of the lighthouse that I really like. I've processed it with ColorPop, so I have the background with the black and white and the sky in blue. And now I can go to FlatForge and the software will automatically process the mesh to create the FlatForge from the preview that we have right there. Once the process is finished, we can view how this FlatForge is made up with the exploded view, which is a really useful feature to check all the parts of our FlatForge. We can also use this left panel to hide some layers to check the geometry, and if we need to take a look at the wireframe view of a layer, we can click on this little square under the cube to see it. So it's a really intuitive interface. Before moving on, keep something in mind. As I anticipated in the introduction, FlatForge needs a multicolor printer. So, you need to elaborate your HueForge for FlatForge with the maximum amount of colors you're able to print on your multicolor machine. For example, if you have only one AMS or only one ACE Pro, 4 heads on your Prusa XL, and so you can only print 4 colors at once, then the maximum amount of colors you need to use for your FlatForge is 4 colors, okay? You can't go beyond that, okay? For example, I have 2 ACE Pros to use with my Cobra machines, so I can create a FlatForge with up to 8 colors. Let's take a look at the other 2 options that we have right there, which are face down print and double-sided. They are pretty intuitive. With the face down print we will be able to print our FlatForge face down, but the FlatForge will add a transparent layer as the base, so you will have at your disposal only 3 colors over the transparent layer. Then with double-sided, HueForge will duplicate the image, so you will have it on both the front and back side of the print. Obviously, this means that the number of layers will increase, the print time will increase, the number of filament changes will increase, so keep this in mind if you decide to go for one of these options. When we have processed the file, we can save it by clicking OK, and if we want to modify the project name, we can do it right there, or if we want to save the file in a specific folder, we can choose it right there. Once we click on OK, it will generate our project folder as normally, and this will be the result. So there will be the HueForge project, the scribe file, and all these meshes. So let's take a look at how to slice a FlatForge. The slicing settings are similar, but the process on how to prepare the G-code is a bit different. In fact, the first thing we need to do is import all these pieces together into the slicer. Okay, so drag all of them into the slicer. Once the slicer elaborates the mesh, it will ask us if we want to import these files as a single object with multiple parts, but we click on No. Okay, so here we have it, and as we have said, each layer, each mesh represents a different color. So to prepare the file, we need to go into the Objects tab and assign to each layer the right filament. For example, you can see right there that this needs to be black. So I can select the mesh and click on the corresponding number on the keyboard to make it black. For example, I have the black filament in the second slot, so I need to click on 2 on my keyboard to make it black. And we need to do this for every layer of this project. So in this way we can prepare our mesh. Okay. We can also use an height range modifier for the base to minimize the print time, and the describe file contains the values to which we can add this modifier in case you need to do it. Now we can simply slice this file and send it to our printer. Let me show you my first FlatForge, which is this lighthouse bookmark, printed on the FlatForge 85X that I reviewed last week. So go check the video out if you're interested in this machine, because it has an excellent performance-price ratio. The result is really nice. This bookmark was completed in about 4 hours, although with the height range modifier at the base I could have saved some time. FlatForge has a different charm from normal HueForge, we can say. And as you saw earlier, FlatFill is also available in the FlatTools plugin. It works very similarly to face-down printed FlatForge, because it will print all colors like a normal HueForge and then fill the holes with a transparent layer. However, I want to dedicate another video to FlatFill with some tips on how to print transparent filament well, which is essential for the success of the project. So subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the dedicated video. Well, now we know how to use FlatForge. It's a really interesting way to print flat images in 3D. Let's say that there are two techniques most similar to FlatForge for creating images: MacLeod's image to keychain and multicolored lithophanes. The first option, however, doesn't create shades, but only uniform backgrounds, so is therefore suitable for very simple images. On the other hand, the multicolored lithophanes create shades, but first they need the light to show the image, and secondly they are limited to the filaments in the CMYK kit, while FlatForge allows us to use the filaments we have and the colors we want. Honestly, I think it's a very nice update for HueForge. In particular, I find the possibility of using PO, PI, PET and similar plates to create an image with a truly wow effect fascinating. So, let me know below in the comments if you have already tried FlatForge, and in the meantime, if you like this video, you might also like this.